For Dave Allen, if you truly believe we've seen the best of David Price then?
Well, I think David Price, he was an outstanding amateur because he's good over the amateur distance. And I think that's transferred into the professional ranks. He's very good over the amateur distance. But then once as a professional fighter, and there used to be guys in our gym that was like that. You know, when they get that second wing, they think that they panic and they get even more tired. I think David Price is that kind of fighter where after a certain distance, physically, mentally, emotionally, he implodes. And it sounds, I'm speaking negative about him, but it's not. It's no detriment to who he is. It's how he fights. That's him. That's in his psyche. And I think with Dave Allen has proved he will stick at it and try and break it hard. David Price can bang, he can dig, you know, and so he's going to make sure he gets you. No trying to feel his way through the fight. He's going to try and get you inside the first 3 rounds, and he knows that. For a big guy, I think he has to accept that's the gamble he now has to take. He has to now take the gamble of gassing out for the first 3 or 4 rounds. Because if he tries, no matter how hard he tries to think, I've trained hard, I want to pace myself, it's that mental switch that makes him just implode. So if I was David Price, I think right for 3-4 rounds, I am going to blitz it. And after that, I'll see what I've got left. That forces you to get to your second win. You get through 5 and 6, then all of a sudden you get a new fresh breath of fresh air. And I think that's what David Price should do. For Dave Allen, he should stay consistent with the pressure, stick to his chest, don't give him breathing space, let the shots go. And if he does that, it'll be a battle of wills.
John, I do want to ask you about a couple of other heavyweights, not just the 2 Daves. We've seen this back and forth between Dillian Whyte and Tyson Fury last couple of days. Have you sort of kept up with it? Have you seen that?
Yeah, I have, yeah. You know what surprises me? And again, I'll stick to it. Technically, the best heavyweight out there is Tyson Fury. Technically. And I think Tyson Fury, you'd put him at number 1 now in the world because he's proved that he should be universally in that position. But this back and forth between he and Tyson Fury, it's perfectly timed. You know, Tyson, and as a fighter at this stage in in training camp for a fight, all the hard work's been done. You know, so this is your strength and your weakness in the build to a fight. And I think Tyson Fury is probably sick of being asked about Dillian Whyte, and he's heard, you know, these rumours about him being knocked down by Dillian Whyte numerous amount of times. He's got to think in sparring. He's got to think to himself, I've got to pull back on this. So saying what he said, in the way he said it, the time he said it, he's taken he's now made Dillian Whyte's fight against Oscar Rivas on the 20th of July about Tyson Fury and Dillian Whyte. But if I was Dillian Whyte, I'd look and think, I am the only fighter publicly you have said you are not going to fight, or you don't need to fight. Think of a fighter Tyson Fury has said, I don't want to fight, I'm not fighting him, I don't need to fight him. Can you think of one?
Well, there was the whole Tony Bellew thing. Tony was calling out Tyson, and Tyson and John Fury were like, don't really need Tony Bellew, basically. So maybe Tony.
All right, maybe Tony. So apart from Tony?
No one.
Apart from Dillian Whyte. And so that says to me, I'm thinking, does that tell me that Tyson Fury thinks, you know what, you might be my bogeyman because you've had your number on me a couple of times? Because I just think there's no smoke with that fight.
You make Fury favourite in that fight though, right?
Initially, yeah, because I said technically he's proved to be the best technical fighter out there. I'm just trying to figure out the rumours being true of Dillian knocking him out numerous amount of times in sparring. That means Dillian has a blueprint to beating him.
Did you hear anything about that before?
Yeah.
When was this?
Dillian had said it.
Ages ago?
Dillian said it before. But Dillian, surprisingly, when he said it, and he'd never actually brought it up, and he'd said it off camera before, and now he's saying, well, actually, this is what I've done, and he knows I've done it. You know, so this ain't no surprise. So I thought, well, maybe Dillian has a blueprint to beating Tyson. Maybe that style of sticking to his chest and being strong to walk him down and pressure him. You know, and so I think maybe Dillian has a blueprint to beat him if there's anybody.
Yeah. What have you made of all the talk in terms of let's take it to the streets, let's fight in car parks? Dylan's kind of saying.
Okay, so you have Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, Dillian Whyte. Now, when Anthony Joshua was unbeaten, the fearful fact of it all was any of the other three would beat Anthony Joshua verbally. Tyson Fury would manhandle him verbally. Deontay Wilder would manhandle him verbally. Dillian Whyte, we've seen when them two get in a verbal confrontation, he gets boom. Anthony Joshua saying, I ain't getting it, but with Fury and
Whyte.
Wilder,
Wilder,
these two,
okay.
verbally, I think we're doing round one. But with Dillian Whyte in the mix, there's no way, because Dillian Whyte is crazier than the other two. There's no way they will push that button and carry on like that in the street, because they know it doesn't stop at talk. They don't stop at somebody getting in between them. Because Dillian Whyte's one of the few fighters that say, yo, come, let's deal with this thing now. Dillian Whyte's the only one out of all of them that will take it to Deontay Wilder's chest, that will take it to Tyson Fury's chest. So when you're chatting and saying what you're saying and doing what you're doing, the only one where is the boogeyman is Dillian Whyte. Both Wilder and Fury are the two ones that have kind of like cut him out. Kind of tried to develop amnesia with him.
So do you genuinely think if Fury and Dillian Whyte bumped in the streets tomorrow, they'd have it?
Listen, at first, I can remember I said something initially about Dillian Whyte, and it was my honest opinion. And Dillian Whyte, I bumped into him in Austria. He was sparring with Vladimir Klitschko. And so there was a bit of beef between the two of us. And when I saw him in training camp, he said, me and you need to talk. I said, yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. Whatever I say, I'll stick to it. I'm not pussyfoot around it. And Dillian's one of those guys that if he says something negative about it, he's going to come and chase you down. You sit down, you tell me, have a chat shit or back it up. And then after that, I thought, you know what, this guy's all right, man. I get that. And he got my point, I got his point. And you know, if you're going to chat shit about him, he'll chase you down to back it up or shut up. And that's how you got to deal with it. So I do believe, you know, these two getting cross paths in the street, somebody's going to back down. But if I'm only feeling it won't be Dillian Whyte.
But is it? We've seen it in the past, right? In fact, we saw it with Dillian Whyte and Derek Chisora.
It's not pantomime.
It's not fake,
it's
is it?
It's for real, man. It's not pantomime. You don't play fake. It's not pantomime. It might be a bit of pantomime done with Tyson or even Deontay, but it ain't with Dillian. He's not. He can't play that game. He's not very good at that.
Who would you pick in that fight in a car park?
In the straight. I don't know how they both fight. Bare knuckle.
Well, you've got a traveller and Dillian Whyte.
Loves to fight, and Dillian Whyte who loves to fight. So put it this way, I'd love to be stood like on the phone. Yo, pay-per-view.
Definitely pay-per-view. Unfortunately, in the ring, I don't really see that happening. Tyson's linked up with ESPN. His contract out there. Don't see Tyson Fury, Dillian Whyte in the States.
Yeah.
Personally, so I think it's a bit pointless talking about in the ring. But obviously.
But you know what? Public pressure can make these things happen. So they'll never say never. If the demand's there, the TV company's saying, you know what, this is generating us a lot of money. It'll happen. Different broadcasters have worked together before in the past.
Can't write anything off in boxing, to be fair. The dust has kind of settled on Joshua's loss to Ruiz now.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of talk about...
No, you're doing it.
There's been a lot of talk about, should Joshua jump into that rematch? Should he take a year out? Should it be at MSG? Should he bring it home to Cardiff, let's say? What are your thoughts on it? Should he take a break? Does he have to take the rematch?
He has to take the rematch or he loses his place in line to fight for the world title. I think a mistake was made. He can rectify. I think he beats him coming back. First time we've seen Anthony Joshua for a long time prepping for a fight so early, coming up to a fight. You see him working on technique, working on natural movement, working on boxing technique. I think if it was to whoever lose, this was the best time for him to lose because it's made him hungry again. He's probably worth about 100 million. All of a sudden, you know, it's hard to keep focus and stay determined. And then losing to Ruiz, his pride's hurt. So now it's made him think, nah. But if they'd have lost to Fury or if they'd lost to Wilder, it would have had a bigger mental scar. I think this one, it's made Anthony Joshua hungry. So if Anthony Joshua's going to lose, it's a bigger deal to the general public somebody losing their own than it is to the fighter. And so we're struggling with it more than Anthony Joshua is, and I get where he's at. You know, he's been humble. He's just thought, you know what, that's how it is. You've got to remember, Anthony Joshua's boxed 10 years. Look what he's amassed. Look what he's achieved in boxing in 10 years from first putting the glove on. So the first time he loses as a professional, and you've got everybody ripping this boy to shreds. I'm like, come on, man. He himself said, I'm not the finished article. So with the experience he's got, which is relatively a novice as a pro for 10 years, boxing amateur and pro, the experience he's got, you think, shit, man, you've done well. But then the first time he lets something slip, or the first time something goes wrong, all of a sudden he ain't no good. That's pure foolishness. I believe he comes back, and it'll be a mystery. Don't be fooled by anything else. It'll be Madison Square Garden. Boxes Ruiz, and I think he beats him. He might have to beat him boring, but he beats him.
A bit like the Parker fight, perhaps, Joshua Parker.
Yeah, because Ruiz has showed that he's got fast hands but not great feet, and that's what Parker had to do on his own turf, outboxing. And remember, Anthony Joshua outboxed Parker. So when you say Anthony Joshua can't box, he can.
Olympic gold medalist.
Yeah,
So.
he can, and he beat a guy that beat the man. So yeah.
Would it be kind of suicide though if he went in there and thought I can just blast Ruiz out and start trading off?
We've seen that, and we've all learnt lessons from that fight, especially Anthony Joshua and Robert Kraken. And so I think he's learnt a lesson. You know, one thing you can't buy, borrow, pretend to have, and that's experience. And that's what he's had to go through to get wisdom.
Johnny, what did you make of Spencer Fearer's comments? I don't know if you saw it, that Joshua should surround himself with more boxing people. Doesn't mean he has to leave Ron McCracken.
No. I don't think he's referring to Rob McCracken.
No, he's just saying hang around more. Like, so when Freddie Roach was brought in.
No, you're misunderstanding.
Like
I don't think. I'm hoping that's not what he meant. I don't think he meant leave Rob McCracken. I think he's on about his circle of friends. Like when you're in the gym, all my friends are boxing people. They think boxing, talk boxing, eat boxing, sleep boxing. They understand it. They're not going to come up with a stupid question like when's Mike Tyson going to box Spencer Mohammed. That's what people that don't know boxing. So if you surround yourself with boxing folk that get it, and you think boxing, so you just pick it up. That's how you do it. You've got people with the same mindset. Not for 1 second. If he was referring to leaving Ron McCracken, I think that's the stupidest.
No, he didn't say that. He didn't say that.
It's not. And I personally think, Ron McCracken is the only one that will get the best out of Anthony Joshua. I'd probably add to him, but I'd never, if I was Anthony Joshua, leave Ron McCracken because he knows him inside out and knows what he's achieved. I think he's referring to his circle, and it's no disrespect to his circle because they're his boys, they're the people he trusts, they're the people that get him. I think it's for the conversation, the rub off, the boxing mindset, the boxing attitude. I get what you're saying. So I'm saying we were gym rats. All my friends were boxers. And all boxers' friends are usually boxers. And so you think boxing, eat boxing, sleep boxing, play boxing. If you're going out partying, you've always got boxing in the back of your mind. And I think that's what he was referring to.
Well, he trained in Sheffield. You're from Sheffield. Why don't you go hang out with him? He could recruit you.
I'm old enough to be his dad, man.
Bit harsh on yourself, no?
I'm old enough to be his dad.
Johnny, just the last one. Back to Tyson Fury. There's suggestions that he might box Jarrell Miller in New York in October. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of opinions about that fight with what's just happened with Jarrell Miller. What are your thoughts on it?
If the governing bodies are willing to overlook what Jarrell Miller did, then down to them, shame on them. It's up to them how they deal with it. I think Tyson Fury beats Miller, and Tyson Fury knows he's got Miller's number. Tyson Fury needs an opponent, needs someone to fight. If Jarrell Miller has the springboard, a failing drug test against Anthony Joshua to get a crack at boxing a lineal champion, then it's worked for Jarrell Miller. But I actually think, personally, you know what? I think the suspension was too short. The punishment was too short. But Miller will always be tarred with that, no matter what he does, no matter what he achieves. And so this is down for him to personally deal with it.
Okay, Johnny. Appreciate your time today. Appreciate your time today, and we'll catch up soon.
Peace.
Cool, man.